David Chalian, what are you seeing in the exit polling about the Latino vote?
Yeah, we wanted to look across all three blue wall states that John was just walking us through, looking at this slice of the vote, the Latino vote in the blue wall states. Now, they only make up 6% of the electorate in each of these states, but look at the difference in the margin. So Harris is getting in Pennsylvania 58% of the Latino vote, again, 6% of the electorate, to Donald Trump's 41%. That's a 17-point advantage. But 4 years ago, Biden beat Trump with Latinos in Pennsylvania by 42 points. So that is a huge movement for Trump in narrowing that gap. Similar story in Michigan. You see the Latino vote makes up a 6% of the share. Sorry, not a similar story, reverse. Donald Trump is winning the Latino vote in Michigan with 60% of the vote. Harris, 35% of the vote. That's a 25% advantage for Trump among Latinos. That is a big change when Biden won Latinos in Michigan by 11 points 4 years ago. That's a 36-point swing in the margin. And if you look at Wisconsin, Harris is at 61% among Latinos, Trump at 38%. Again, 6% of the electorate. These margins matter. That is about where Biden and Trump were 4 years ago. So not a lot of change in the Latino vote in Wisconsin, but a lot of change in Michigan and Pennsylvania towards Trump, Jake.
Fascinating stuff, David Chalian. Thanks so much. And let's talk about this with my panel here. Dana Bash, your thoughts?
I mean, Pennsylvania and Michigan, in particular Pennsylvania, because there has been so much focus on the Latino vote in Pennsylvania, especially the Puerto Rican population there, since the Madison Square Garden debacle. Even Donald Trump and the people around him, even though they're not saying it publicly, believe that what that comedian did was not helpful. And yet, according to this exit poll, it shows that let's stick with Trump, that Trump is doing way better than he did 4 years ago with that very population, the Latino population overall, not necessarily with Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, and let's face it, even before the garbage remark, Trump was making a very concerted effort. He thought, and obviously had reason to believe, that he could make some gains with Latinos, particularly with Latino men. I think there are economic issues that all people are facing. Also, I think cultural issues. There is a real social conservatism among Latinos. And, one of the ads that Trump and a lot of people sort of wondered about it, played, I think, more than any other, was the transgender ad. And you wonder if it did actually score with social conservatives and in winning votes for him and turning them away from Kamala Harris. Whatever the reason, you can see tremendous gains. I mean, in Michigan, it's extraordinary, just a flip.
We're also used to considering this by straight identity, where the identity that might be key here is rural. And I'd love to hear from John about where the kind of Hispanic heartland is. Where are these voters? And we're looking at the blue wall for a reason, where we're not necessarily talking about the border. You're not necessarily having this fight over your identity. You are the ideal Trump voter in that you are rural and you are more socially conservative.
Since Madison Square Garden, we have been talking, John King, if you're over there at the map, about two particular towns in Pennsylvania, Allentown and Reading. I believe it's Lehigh County and Berks County. Right. Do we have any sense of where the votes are there?
So here, this map you're looking at now just shows you there's not a very large Latino population in Pennsylvania. I'll put that into context in just a minute. But where you do see the deeper shading is where you have the higher population of Latino voters. So you see the concentration in Allentown, that's Lehigh County, and you see the concentration in the Reading area, that's Berks County. You're correct about that. I just want to come out, nationally, so you see the look. Like Pennsylvania has nowhere near the Latino population of a Florida or Texas or Arizona, but in a battleground state, a small population can make the difference, right? So let's come off that and come back into Pennsylvania 2024. Where were they? This is the interesting part. The exit polls are taken of people as they leave the polls, right? We're still counting votes. So some of this may not have kicked in yet in the math, if you will. People say that when they leave the polls. We don't know what precincts or Allentown are in. I don't anyway out here right now. Some of our people can jump at me if they do, if they have that information. But Lehigh County, the 10th largest of the 67 counties in Pennsylvania. It's important. It's a blue-collar county. So 53 to 45 right now, only 43% of the vote. So let's watch and see when we get higher up if this percentage changes. But just come out of this and look at 2020, right? Joe Biden, she's about matching Joe Biden. Trump's at 46. I'm going to focus on him. So you come here, he's at 45. And then Berks County here, I come down to. I spent a lot of time in Berks County in this campaign, and it's gone back to being Republican. It was blue earlier, and we're at 92%. So maybe a little bit there, Jake. We'll study a little bit more closely as we go through this.
All right, we have some projections right now. CNN can project that Iowa will go to Donald Trump as expected. Iowa and its 6 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump, CNN can project. CNN can also project that Kansas will go to Donald Trump. Kansas and its 6 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. So that's 12 additional electoral votes for Donald Trump, who now has 207 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 91 electoral votes. There are 270 electoral votes needed to win. Donald Trump holding a sizable lead in the electoral vote as of now, but we are expecting more votes to drop in Democratic strongholds in key battleground states. We're also counting down to the next round of poll closings at 11 p.m. Eastern, when Democrats are expecting to claim a gold mine of electoral votes out west in California. That's all ahead.